What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about a girl that I babysat that I swore one night was possessed. I've made a couple videos about this family and like weird things that have happened at their house, and you guys, I have been contacted by this family about 6 times in the last 2 weeks, and I had not talked to them in years. Is that not something more than a coincidence? I don't know. I've had a lot of something's more than a coincidences lately. Anyways, you guys might have recalled, if you've seen either of those videos that I made, that I watched this little girl a lot at night. And this one particular night, I was headed to her house, and I swear this is where weird things started to happen. There was an entire herd of children, probably 35, 40 kids, under the ages of 10, just marching down the road, just marching along, and they were like lined up in a straight line going across the road, just marching down the road. And this is not like a common thing where I'm from. It's a weird thing, especially when it's like almost dark and there's not an adult in sight, there's not any sort of older child in sight, and the kids aren't playing, they're not goofing around, they're just seriously marching down the middle of the road. I had to slow down to a minuscule crawl where I was barely moving to get through this herd of kids, and they would just like little zombie children, just like completely zombie, they would just walk to the sides, like just and then just like let me pass. It was super creepy. So that was like the first weird thing. And then I get to this family's house, right? And I go in and I talk to their mom, and I was like explaining to her what was going on with the weird kids on the street, and she's like, oh, that's really weird, and kind of looked at me like I was a liar. And then later she went to work and she texted me and she's like, oh my gosh, I saw the kids, that is so strange, like we should call the sheriff or something, something's going on. So we actually called the sheriff and reported all these kids out in the road. Because it was getting dark, it was starting to storm, like they're just like random kids walking on the road like zombies. So that all happened, and then the extra creepy stuff started happening. So essentially how my evenings would go is that I would make this little girl dinner, she would eat, we would get all of her stuff ready for her school the next day, and then any time between then and 9 o'clock, which was her bedtime, she had time to play. So we did that whole process, and the entire evening she was like, she'd watched some Scooby-Doo or something that had like some scary element to it, and she was just being like, ah, and like trying to be like scary or something, I don't know. So she was basically just being a goober, which is what she was. She was always just this little goober ball. She was super wound up too. Like I think she had smuggled an entire bag of candy into her room that night and had eaten it all before I got there, and her parents hadn't found out. She did this frequently. I don't know why her dad always had candy in the house, and he always had it like in the cupboard, and she would climb up the cupboards, get it, take it to her room, and then eat it all, and then be a psychopath after her parents left. I think it was one of those nights, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I put her to bed finally, and then I went and got in my bed, and I just like pulled out my laptop, and I was just, you know, doing some work on there. And pretty soon I hear some rustling, and I'm like, oh, what is this kid doing? But I decided to kind of ignore it, thinking that, you know, I knew she was kind of scared of the dark, and I knew that she probably wouldn't leave her room, so I figured she'll probably just like rustle around a little bit and then go back to bed, because she's not gonna like get up and do anything. I was wrong. So this little kid gets out of her bed, goes into the kitchen, gets a knife, and comes into my room and is like, ha, again, which was getting a little bit more terrifying at this point, because I was like, this kid is, I don't know what she watched. I thought it was just Scooby-Doo, but apparently maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it was some horror movie with kids with knives. I don't know. But I was like, you need to go put the knife down and go to bed. And she was just like, I'm going to chase you around with it and kill you. That is scary alone, like by itself. Having a little kid tell you that and be like all creepy is like super scary. So I was like, and I like took the knife from her and I went and put it in the drawer, right? This happened 3 or 4 times where I put her back to bed, and then she would come back in with a knife, and I'd put her back to bed and she'd come back in with a knife. The last couple of times I had to wrestle that knife out of her hand too. She was like not wanting to give it up, and she was wound up, just like normally she was a really good, quiet, calm child. She was like going, man. And so I wrestled the knife out of her hand, I sent her back to bed, and I went and put it in her parents' closet, because I was like, there's no way she's gonna find this knife in her parents' closet. Apparently she was watching me, or like had followed me, and so she had seen it, so she got it out of there, and pretty soon I just kept it with me. I was like sleeping with it. I also then threatened to call her parents if she didn't straighten up, because that was like, if she's being super, super bad, I can call them, right? So I put her back to bed, and morning comes, and this is where things kind of took a dark twist. So in the morning, I'm like going to clean up my stuff so I can leave, and she's getting ready for school, and she looks over and she's like, why do you have a knife? And I was like, what do you mean, why do I have a knife? I have a knife because you were being a goober last night and you wouldn't stop like coming to my room with it. And she completely didn't remember. She didn't remember anything that happened. It was incredibly scary because number 1, she was either completely sleepwalking, or number 2, she was completely possessed. I'm not really sure which one, but the fact that she was running around her parents' house with a knife and didn't remember any of it was kind of crazy to me. And like I could genuinely tell she didn't remember it. Like she was a liar, and a horrible liar. She'd be like, oh yeah, I did my homework, and I'd be like, no you didn't. Because like you could just tell. She was one of those people that you can tell when she's lies, right? It's one of those people that you really want to like take under your wing and be like, let me teach you how to be a better liar, because you're not going to get anywhere in life. So I could tell when I was talking to her that she was being truthful. She really didn't remember getting up and continually getting like a knife out and coming into my room. I also was like super glad that I actually took the knife away from her, because I was like, what if I hadn't taken it away from her? What if I had like let her have it or go put it back in the bed and just like ignored her? Maybe something bad would have happened. I don't know. I don't think so, but like maybe. Who knows? That was the story about this girl that I babysat that I swear was possessed. Or I did at the time at least. I still kind of do. I'm still like, that's still the part of me that's like, yeah, she was possessed. But then there's this other part of me that's more like logical me, and they're like, nah girl, she just was sleepwalking or something. So I don't know. But I hope you guys liked it. If you did, it'd be awesome if you gave it a thumbs up, and also you guys can subscribe. I've been trying to put out a new video every day during October, so there's like a week of that left. I've not been 100% successful, but I've been trying, you guys. I really have. So thank you for hanging out with me and letting me tell you another scary story, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!